Hey, how is everybody doing today?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good.
Good. I'm sorry?
Trapunski?
Yeah, Trapunski.
Oh man, I like that.
I was gonna do this later. I want to ask you right now. Battle. You do roast battles. Is that named after you? Did you name your show after your last name?
No, I created it, but it happened to have worked. That's my real last name. That it's Roast Battle and it's a branding thing, so I can get checks for a little while. So yeah, but you're Roast Battle guy. You did some homework, my man.
Yeah, well, I think if I'm not mistaken, 2016. I think that was the year that.
Yeah, 2016. We got on TV. 2016, 2017, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, that's when your show is set. So I think it's a significant year.
Yes,
Scott,
sir.
I was going to say that was the cataclysmic event that changed the whole world. Of course, the Cubs winning the World Series.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and you were there too. You were at one of the earlier games, which was I think I remember seeing you at that.
I was at the first home game. We lost that game 1-0. That was I grew up about 100 feet from Wrigley Field, so that literally was close to home, as close to home as you could get. That was quite an experience.
Wow.
So I'll continue sort of maybe on that theme to say, what's it like to do a show that's set in this particular time period? I was just talking to the creators about why maybe it was then, but what's it like to step back into 2016?
Well, I remember in 2016, I had a severe sore throat, and I'm pretty sure I might have been COVID patient 0, but no, we're not there yet, right? We're not COVID joking yet.
You know, but it's Scotty.
It's interesting because some of the specifics I think are very relevant to 2016, and then yet some of the themes are still very universal. And I think if anything, since 2016, maybe we've sharpened the focus on the microscope of examining wealth disparity, and maybe there's hopefully some more dialogue about that right now. But this is really a show about people hustling and trying to make it and doing whatever that takes. And so that kind of feels timeless. And I think that's why it works.
Yeah, Claudia, I think I just saw you on Our Flag Means Death, like right away. And now here you are, from Death to Killing It. What was going back to 1716? What was that? It was a little bit earlier, but to continue with that, what do you think these time periods have to say about right now?
Well, Our Flag Means, it was just really fun wearing the costumes. From the 1700s. But that show is made in a way where it's like, I don't know what's really fun about that show, I think, is like it's a comedy, but it's also this show where, storylines that don't necessarily get put at the forefront of like big TV shows or there's like all of these like gay romances and also non-binary characters. And I guess a lot of that stuff was happening on pirate ships in the 1700s, but it's rarely like centered in the show. When
I'm watching all of you, this show it's bringing the funny. It's a really funny show. But then I get to, Rell, I'm on episode 7, and you have an incredible dramatic monologue in that episode. And I don't know, it hit really hard. It was a really sort of, for a show that's primarily comic, it felt like it was a really hard-hitting scene. And there've been those episodes that have, kind of gone surreal, but then are back to funny and serious. So what's that like for you to play the different range?
Thank you, man. I give full credit to anything that all of us were able to do to Luke and Dan and Tira, one of the writers, and Bo. They wrote that episode particularly. They built up some great stakes for all of us early on in the season, and then by the time it was time to kind of get to that that climax, we had every tool we needed as actors to kind of make it work. So it's a deep background scene. I don't want to give it away, but it deals with their father, and I have a really tough dad, so I was able to really to kind of put it in a certain place that it was real and was honest, and that it served the show well, because my character is pretty much fun and goofy and snarky, and then he has a total flip on who he is, and then so you had to build up all that extra stuff to make him kind of vulnerable later on, and so it was a fun time. I hope it works out. I hope people like it.
Scott, you've had a Twitter bio, I think, that said Scott or Gardner Minshew, the former quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Here you're again kind of bringing. Do you feel like you're playing like this really sort of like, is he the Chad? Is he this he's like this really exaggerated guy? Like how do you step into that?
I think you just, you try to figure out what your character wants and then you go at it unapologetically. I think there's a lot of freedom in playing characters that don't always care about what other people think about them. And I think kind of that's the beauty of this character, Brock, is that he deeply cares what everybody thinks about him. And you just start understanding that maybe his lens is so askew that he's just not quite on a perceptive level, maybe on the same, wavelength as those around him. So I think it'd be wonderful to not give a shit on a daily basis. I kind of wish I strived more towards that, but I'm deeply insecure. So that's where I am.
Claudia, I got to give a shout out to your Task Rabbit episode. Again, I felt all the feels in that one. It took us, your work with Darcy and just taking us on that run with John. What was it like to film that one?
That was really fun. I was already friends with John and Darcy before, so it was very fun for, to have them suddenly in New Orleans. And my sister was visiting at the time as well, so it was really nice. And also just like to do a bit of a departure from all the time we were spending in the swamp covered in fake snake blood, and to like get to, wear nicer clothes and be inside was a real treat. But yeah, it was like fun to get to do some like different kind of stuff than we were doing for the rest of the show.
Oh, I wanted to say quickly that you've written books about, I think you did facts about different animals as well too. But you never done facts about snakes. Sort of for all of you, did you learn anything about snakes? Who do you think would be actually the best at capturing snakes?
Who would be the best? I mean, Scott was saying earlier that he spent a lot of time with iguanas, so I kind of feel like Scott would be the best one at capturing snakes in real life.
And people don't know that Scott's son is like an expert on dinosaurs. I feel like he can that out a little bit.
Yeah, we have a lot of scales going around our house. I actually spent some time with real snakes in trying to get this role, and I found out the gentleman I was talking to, he kept saying, I was asking about how snakes reproduce, and he kept saying that snakes have the hemipenis, and I thought he was saying the heavy penis. And it's actually hemi. It's a two-pronged male component, and so I think that probably qualifies me as the snake expert on this. Maybe. And they also shoot their tongue out to flick the scent toward their nose. That's what the whole tongue thing's about.
Oh wow!
Yeah, maybe a facts about snakes book upcoming.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to David O'Doherty, who I wrote those books with. But it was about 10 or 15 years ago. But it might be time to do a third one of those books.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
And definitely on that note, I just want to say I think you're all killing it both on the show, in the industry, and I really, really enjoyed it and really enjoyed getting to hear from all of you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Charles.
Thanks, Charles.